Hi everyone, my name is Francine, otherwise known as Kuuipa1207 on YouTube, and today we're going to be doing this purple popping brown eyes look. It's great for anybody with brown eyes, and the palette that I'm going to be using is from Physicians Formula. It is the Shimmer Strips Custom Eye Enhancing Shadow, and it's the Pop Collection, and it is for brown eyes. Now the first color I'm using is a light golden brown, and I'm applying it with a soft, fluffy, oval-shaped eyeshadow brush. And I'm just applying it with a packing motion first. Once I have the color on and it's covered about halfway across my eyelid, I'm going to go ahead and soften any harsh lines up along the top and along the middle of my eyeshadow. The next color I'm using is from the same palette again, and it's the magenta or light purple shadow that's right in the middle of the palette. Again, I'm using a fluffy shader brush. This one is a bit smaller and the bristles are a bit more stiff, so it can pick up more color and pack it on as well. And what I'm doing here is I'm just applying it all over the rest of my lid. I'm making sure to not go much higher than my crease or my socket line for my eyeballs. So you can take the color as high as you like. This is as high as I was comfortable with taking this color for this look. But once I have it packed on, I'm just going to blend it in lightly with the gold shade that we already applied, and then I'm going to soften the harsh line above it. The next color is a gray purpley sort of color from the same palette, and it's the second from the bottom. And I'm using an angled shadow brush, and what I'm doing is I'm just taking the shadow brush and I am drawing a line right along where my socket line is, right where my crease would be if I had a more pronounced, more defined crease or more defined socket line. But I'm just drawing a line basically so I can get a feel for where I want the deepest color to go. And then once I have that line drawn, I'm just going to lightly blend the color upwards toward my brow bone, but not too high. I'm just going, again, within a comfort level for myself. I like to blend the eyeshadow out higher towards the outer corner of my eye, and as I go inward, I like to keep the eyeshadow a bit lower and further away from my eyebrow. This kind of helps me create the whole cat eye effect that I typically get with my looks on my YouTube videos. The last and final color for our eyeshadow for the top lid is going to be the darkest purple right on the bottom. And again, I'm using the same brush and the same technique as earlier. I'm just going to draw a line a bit on the outer V of my eye, but just on the upper part where my crease is, and then I'm going to blend it in with the other purple that I just applied. This look is you could kind of say this look is a cut crease look. It's just a softer cut. It's not very noticeable. We're going to start on the lower lid now, and we're going to go back to the very first color that we used, the light golden color. And I'm just going to apply it to the inner corner of my lower lash line. This step is completely optional. I prefer to have some color on my lower lash line. I feel it makes my eyes look bigger. It gives them that extra sort of pop. So now the final color that I'm going to be using for eyeshadow will be the darkest brown that is in the palette, and I'm going to use it along my lower lash line starting from the outer corner, and I'm going to blend it inwards with the light golden color. This just helps to create a full looking lash line along your lower lash line, and like I said, it helps your eyes to look larger. You don't want to go all the way in with too much color. For my highlight, I just used a neutral matte shade. You can find this color anywhere, but I mean, it's not really important. As long as you have a matte color that you prefer to use for your highlight, go with that. I also went ahead and added a little bit more of the light golden color to the upper area of my inner corner, and I just blended it in with the highlight color that I used. For lining my eye, I used the Physicians Formula Eye Enhancing Gel Cream Liner, and I used the one for brown eyes, and I used the purple one. It's just a straight purple, and I lined along my upper lash line all the way across from inner corner to outer corner. I also took the same gel liner and lined along my lower waterline and my upper waterline. This step can be a bit tricky, and it's also not recommended for people with sensitive eyes. So if you do have sensitive eyes, you may want to avoid lining. You may want to avoid lining your water lines, as it may irritate your eyes a bit more than what you're normally used to with wearing makeup. To help brighten up my under eye area, I used a bit of Physicians Formula Concealer Twins 2-in-1 Correct and Cover Cream Concealer. And I used the yellow one. I just applied it with the little dauber that it comes with right underneath my eyes, and I used my finger to blend it in. Now once it was blended in, I went ahead and did my foundation and blended in the foundation with the concealer. For mascara, I used Physicians Formula Shimmer Strips Custom Eye Enhancing Mascara Duo for brown eyes, and I just went ahead and went all out and used the purple. This was the first time I'd ever used a purple mascara, so I was really quite surprised by how vibrant the color was and how well it covered. I actually didn't really even need to go through with a mascara brush to separate my lashes, so what you see is what you get. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the look. Hopefully all you brown-eyed beauties out there love it and find it useful. And even for those of you who don't have brown eyes, you can still wear this look. It's still a great, fun look to wear. If you want to make it your own and help make your eyes pop more, you can add a bit of a blue or green or, you know, something depending on whatever your eye color is to make it work for you and work for your eyes. But that's it. I hope you guys like it, and I will see you guys later. Bye.